Okay, we're recording. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Jared Mattson.
Awesome.
I'm in the Mattson too, and I'm also an individual.
One of many. What are you listening to right now, Jared? Or like, what's the most recent thing you've listened to?
Mm, is What It Is by Thundercat. That's pretty much all I've been listening to. Something I tend to just obsess over it and listen
Yeah,
listen to it a lot. So that record's amazing.
it is amazing. It's the same thing's been happening in my apartment. My roommates and I just keep listening to it over and over.
That same record?
Yeah, it is what it is.
I guess it is what it is, man.
Yep. um, so my first question for you really is with the Mattson 2, y'all just released a cover of Neil Casal's "Let It All Begin" for the Highway Butterfly tribute. How did that opportunity come about? What's your connection to Neil?
Mm. Our connection to Neil started with him taking photos of us at a farm. We were performing a show in Santa Cruz, and we met him there, and that was in 2012 maybe, or
Mhm.
I'm bad with dates. And then I realized that he was a rip around guitar, and we crossed paths years later um, when we were performing in LA quite a bit, and he would show up at some of the shows, and we rekindled our friendship, and then we even collabed a bit on some shows and played together, and just generally just enjoyed each other's company.
Nice. Um, so when you and Neil got together, what was it like? Was it just like an instant collaboration spirit, or was it kind of like a slow warm up once you rekindled that relationship?
It was very comfortable. It felt like, you know, making music with someone you've made music with for years, and it was very stress free. Um, Extremely friendly, loving, warm person he is.
Mm.
And we jammed at a show, which he's a very encouraging, uplifting player. So it almost frees you up mentally to like um, not worry about what you're doing,
Mhm.
because he comes from that himself, I believe. So that's probably where that was fostered. But that was just like a jam, like random jam. But we also actually went to his house in Ventura and played there, and yeah, just the vibe was super warm and welcoming, and I could just tell he lived and breathed music. Just
Yeah.
words.
Did you all record anything together?
No, we did, and it's somewhere, but I can't find it.
Mhm. It's on one of those hard drives.
We kind of bonded over a guitarist named Gabor Szabo,
Oh,
who's a Hungarian
amazing.
jazz guitarist, and
Yeah.
we really started bonding over him. I think he said I sounded like him a little bit, um, which I was, flattered by.
Mhm.
But more than that, I actually I studied a lot of Gabor's playing, so I actually showed him. He had some questions about like scales and stuff, so I showed him some Gabor stuff, and he was really stoked. Yeah.
It's sick. Um, Kind of my next question. We'll circle back to Gabor soon. You're about to go on another run of solo shows in a few weeks. What's it like to be back on the road with a solo band?
It's fresh, bro. It's super fresh. It's like no baggage. Not that Matsudu has any, but
Hmm.
no preconceived notions of what we should sound like. Lots of freedom, and it's a I hate it when people say, "Oh, you play music for a living? Oh, you tour? Oh, that sounds fun, man. That's fun." So sometimes I don't like that because it's a lot of work. It's enjoyable work. It's a lot of work, but in this case with the trio, it's pretty fun.
Yeah,
It's
because y'all
fun.
don't have anything out. No one's expecting anything.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that and
Um,
it's a chance for me to play music I don't normally play with Matson too. Not for any reason
mhm.
other than happen to be. Um, it's a chance to just like do something with anonymity a little bit.
Nice. So who is all in the band? Your solo band right now?
Well, the records are, um, I'm working on, yeah, releasing that. Um, that was me, except for like one track, but
Hmm.
the live band is a trio. So I wanted to be a power trio because that's a very powerful setup if you do it right, and
Hmm.
it's feasible. It's logistically super easy to figure out. Straight up, just guitar, bass, and drums. Um, and although the record has more layers than just those instruments, we figured out a way to, you know, figure out our sound live, and that's with Tony Ferraro on bass from Toro y Moi. He writes a lot with Chaz, and he's the keyboard player in Toro y Moi, but he plays bass with me. Uh, Kyle, he's a and record store owner in New Orleans, and I met him when we played in New Orleans, and he reached out to us to come to a signing at his shop, and we couldn't end up doing it. Process, I heard his music because he reached out to us on his Instagram profile, and incredible musician overall, but an amazing drummer as well. And he had the technique that I was looking for. I didn't really want jazzy. I wanted some jazz chops, but I also wanted like more of a Stuart Copeland
Yeah.
approach, like a heavy, deep technique
Hmm.
that I could immediately tell from like one song, hearing him play one song that he has that side to him. You know?
Yeah. That four on the floor. I'm gonna mix it up just a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So what was the writing process like for your solo album? Was it just you in your studio, as I'm seeing right now?
Yep, here it is, baby. The writing process was so casual. This is how we always try to do it with the Mattson too, anyways. But when I finally realized that I was making stuff that would be just for my solo project, it had this air of space and uh, no pressure at all because I didn't have any idea as to where I wanted it to live or what I wanted it to do. It was just purely I just purely enjoyed making the music. It's purely just a cathartic process for me. So it was pretty healing. It got me through COVID,
Hmm.
and it was just nice to kind of unearth that side of me. Um, Again, I love writing stuff for Mattson too, and we have a lot of stuff planned for Mattson too. But I think everyone should do something solo in their lifetime, so because it's really beneficial for your own individuality.
Exactly. So moving to the Matson 2, you talked about y'all are working on some things, just a little bit there. Can you divulge any information?
Oh, sure. Hmm. Any specific question? I could tell you
Yeah.
stuff, but
Um, so one of my big questions was kind of like asking, like, you know, Paradise is definitely a departure from some of your previous work, because it inhibits that kind of city pop space. Where are y'all
oh yeah,
moving after Paradise? What kind of sound?
man, I think this will be a product of our what we learned making a Love Supreme,
Hmm.
like sort of jazz chops, and then what we learned with Paradise as far as like taking a step back and making more easy music to digest. So it's
Hmm.
kind of right in the middle. It has we want to get back to jazz chops and kind of like a more heady vibe while still maintaining the balance between uh digestibility.
Wonderful.
Um yeah, so I mean I sent quite a bit of music to quite a bit of friends, and my I sent a track to my cousin who Lover Tree and who's a really good producer. And this when he heard the track, he said it reminded him of Flying Lotus.
Okay.
So many straight, I mean, kind of lo-fi jazz, but a heavy beat. Even exploring a little bit of reggae. Uh, Again, similar to Paradise in that me and Jonathan did everything.
Mhm.
So I kind of like that approach right now. Um, I got Oh, I just realized that Tony Ferraro does play quite a bit on my solo record. I think 3 songs. I just realized that when thinking about this. And so same thing with this, we kind of I love what way Tony works and just his whole personality and the way we work together. And so we sent him some tracks and he put some stuff on it too. So he's probably going to be the only other collaborator for this one.
Mainly percussion from Tony, I would assume.
No, Tony is he's a keyboard player.
Oh,
So he did keyboard, synth, even some vocals, and he's in a group called Astronauts Etc. that's really, really good.
okay.
So I don't know if you know about them, but check them out.
No, to check that out.
Awesome.
Any vocals on the new album? Because that was kind of a first for Paradise. Was hearing you,
Yeah.
your lovely voice.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're both singing on it, and we've realized that that's what we want to continue to do because there's nothing quite compares to that human element, whether it's big or small. Like even just incorporate it, it doesn't leave any room for questions, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like if like especially like the way Khruangbin does it, like we even do it more overtly than them.
Mm-hmm.
But like the second you throw the human voice in there, I feel like it breaks through barrier in the audience that's like not used to.
Yeah.
So as long as you could throw some of that in. What's that?
Oh, it's a way to just communicate your ideas further and really what you want to say in the piece.
Yeah, and I think it's an empathetic thing that's picked up on subconsciously by audience people. I really think it's something that is a little bit unexplainable, but more like we're all human and good to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the voice has a way of projecting that, idea and projecting that connection as human.
Exactly. While you and Jared were working on this new album, did you all listen to any of your earlier music? How do you feel about some of your older songs?
Me? No, just kidding. Well, we don't really ever listen to our records once they're done. Kind of like I was watching some Harrison Ford interviews because I love Harrison Ford, and he doesn't really watch any of his movies when they're done. He watches like the premiere and then that's it. And that's kind of what we do. I'll revisit it sometimes, but yeah. The only stuff that I re-listen to is stuff that was never released or stuff that was never finished, and then maybe take a fresh at it. But yeah, we don't really inspire like in that way.
Repeat that.
Listening to our, we don't really inspire. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna repeat myself because I thought I cut out for a second.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, could you repeat that one more time? Sorry.
I don't know where you left off, but we don't really listen to our music very much. I listen to it a ton. Sort of, Jonathan, in our writing stage and in our producing stage and in our prepping stage for the record. Mm-hmm. But then once it's out into the world, we're with it. Occasionally, very, rare moment that maybe we'll pop on Wavelength or Naima's Dream or something off the new record. But especially the older stuff, don't really listen to very much.
So,
yeah.
Talking about some of the influences behind your work, how did your time in college studying music really affect those early records or your evolution as an artist? Because I know you studied music.
That's important. On the undergraduate level, when we were at UCSD, it informed us just by building our foundation with theory and our understanding of the way harmony works and rhythm works and stuff like that. So the more fundamentals, and especially the jazz vernacular, taught us closely with who played with and I think he even played with Monk a little bit, but amazing upright bassist, just a master of rhythm and polyrhythm. So learned a lot of rhythms, a lot of non-Western rhythms, and then working with Kemal Kenyatta, who produced some Gregory Porter records, the one that won a Grammy, I forget what that one's called, but he's the jazz director, the jazz band director. So we were in his jazz band, jazz ensemble. So on the undergrad level, like just taught us how to basically be jazz musicians, on a formal setting. We got our masters at UC Irvine, so that was an environment that allowed us to have the freedom to like almost like be like doctors or scientists, where we're just engulfed by music. So that gave us an environment to just consume ourselves with music and everything about it, like whether it be critical thinking on music, social aspects of music, cultural aspects. So brought in our perspective of music in general, and then the level of the exceptional staff and faculty there impressed upon us the technical side as well. Like, really, to get, if you're going to get your master's in music, you have to be able to analyze the types of music and write different types of music, and so it just broadened our technique, and that was all through the filter of like, why are you here? Like, are you doing this to here will last a lifetime type of thing? So we quickly figured out that we needed to balance our studies with also the realization that everything we learn should be applied in some way to Mattson too. And I think that would be one word answer as to what UC Irvine taught us the most was improvising. So that helped us with our improvising and like bringing that to center stage in Mattson too, but also our real world life as musicians, understanding that not everyone do a night of improvised music, understanding that you also have to serve the audience. That's, some people don't want to serve the audience. We want to. So understanding that, you got to write music that is groovy and is catchy, has a good hook, has good melody, but also like what we learned in Irvine was how expressive can you get, how out there can you get, your improvisational abilities. And then when it went into outer space, can you bring it back?
Exactly.
He always brought it back. That's what I love about his music. Pink Floyd, they always bring you back. They bring you back. Coltrane, he stopped bringing you back.
Yeah.
Stopped bringing you back. And people lost interest, but his diehard fans stayed with him.
Coolest name up.
Miles brought everyone up, and he brought him back. His whole career, Miles brought everyone back.
Yep.
So I like the idea of bringing someone out, bringing someone back.
And that's kind of, I would say, if you listen to Agar or Agar, it kind of goes out there, and then y'all bring it back with follow-up records and everything else.
Thanks, man. I would actually like to get back to kind of that freedom. The new record doesn't have as much jamming as Agar, but yeah, that's a good point. I love that record, actually.
Yeah, it's definitely my high school studying soundtrack, and then I'd get distracted, like, okay, I gotta take a break and just listen to the album.
Oh, right on. I appreciate that. That's
awesome. So when you and Jonathan were in college, you both played in the same bands at the same time and everything, going through it all together?
We would split in and out, but yeah, we were in the same program for sure.
Oh, nice. That had to be interesting for everyone else to see like both these dudes here. Like, who's who?
It was cool. We, on our application letter to the master's program, we said that we were basically not going to be able to. Can you hear me?
No, you cut out right when you're talking about the application letter.
Okay, so in the application letter to the master's program, we basically said we can't be part of the program unless we're both accepted, unless we're both, because we're not codependent, but we also have like a bond that is stronger when we're together. And when we're together, even our individuality can be stronger. So yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, we loved working with other people. I think it was probably trippy for them to have twins with them in the class who played.
Yeah.
There wasn't any other. I don't recall any other twins in the programs, but yeah.
And then you of course were on guitar and Jonathan on drums.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's see. So I don't want to take up all our time. We got about 5 minutes.
Okay.
One of my questions is, will Feeling Hands ever be reissued?
Out of my control.
Out of your
Completely out of
control?
my control.
Mhm.
It's on a label that's now completely extinct.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't want to go into the business side of it, but
Well, you don't have to.
when you sign a contract when you're 18 years old, you know, it's not always the best
Mhm.
deal. They took care of us and we're great people, but there's some things in there that, you know, they just don't want to release it again. They don't want to. Pretty hopeful that we'll repress it down the line, and if it is repressed, it'll be people want it, you know. So
Yeah, people do.
definitely want to try and make it happen for sure.
Yeah. And then kind of you and the Mattson too, y'all have played Japan quite a bit. What is your fan base like out there? You collaborate with Chocolat and Akito.
The fan base out there is really cool. You know, the audience in general, probably I'm just generalizing, but in my experience, the audience in Japan, as opposed to like, you know, an American audience, like say LA, whatever, they're just so in tune with the music. Like they're so need to experience a show. They're ready to be there. They're respectful. They're on time. They don't show up late. So it's a really dedicated audience. And I hope that stays. I've heard that, you know, the audience is changing in Japan, but that's always been our experience. I could tell that they have a deep appreciation for what we do, like on an instrumental level. We never toured there. We never toured there when we started singing, so I don't know how that would enhance our message there. But yeah, they've always been a joy to perform for because they give you so much, you know, so much back and appreciate. I felt like they were genuinely like following the music.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So just some final closing questions. Where can we learn more about you, find your music, social media?
Yeah, just do Instagram, Jared Mattson official. I just post random stuff up there, but also during all this when I was writing my solo stuff, Jonathan, my twin brother, started his own agency, his own booking agency. So I think he has like about 18 or 20 artists on that agency now. So it's like a fully running proper agency. So that has some information my project on there as well. That's called Golden Hour, with zeros where the O's are. You write that on Instagram, Golden Hour. Let's get the exact name. Yeah, Golden Hour Agency. So just follow those, and then you could dig in there, and then there's a website there too.
Awesome. Learn everything about the Mattson too at Golden Hour.
Oh no, that was for my solo project.
Oh, your solo project. Okay.
There's everything about Mattson too. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube. Just yeah.
Y'all are known. It's out there.
Yeah, you'll find it if you look for it.
Yeah. And then a final thing, if you'd like, would you like to do a liner for the station Laser?
Sure. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So you can just say like, I'm Jared Mattson of the Mattson 2, and you're listening to Laser, Lute Air Student Radio.
What was the last thing you said? Lute
Air Student Radio.
Lute,
like the instrument.
Lute Air. Okay.
Yeah, Student Radio.
I'm Jared Mattson from the Mattson 2. You're listening to Laser, Lute Air Student Radio. Tune in or tune out. All right, that's it.
That's wonderful, man.
Right on. Dude, thank you. How's your studies going? What are you studying?
I'm studying history and communications. So just lots of like journalism, investigation, that kind of stuff, and also English writing.
Oh, very cool.
So lots of writing focused, but my roommate and I, we play music. So
Oh, that's awesome, man.
all comes together at times.
Oh, you from Tacoma?
Yes, yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's a great place, man. We did one show there with this surf band that, you know, yeah, I'd rather not talk about that. But yeah, but I got a chance to go there, and it's a really cool city, dude. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's really fun. I'm excited after I graduate to spend some more time down here and not be bound to the university.
That's cool that you're going to a spot close to home too.
Yeah, it is nice. Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this.
Yeah, Fulton, you too, man. Have a great day.
Yeah. All right.
Keep in touch, dude.
All right. See ya. I'll